If your dog has been scratching, biting, or chewing at their skin so much that you're starting to worry, stay right here for the next few minutes, because remedy number 2 on this list is the one most dog owners get completely wrong, and it could actually be making the itching worse instead of better. I'm going to show you exactly what it is, and more importantly, how to fix it the right way, using things you probably already have sitting in your kitchen right now. If you're a dog owner, you know that feeling. You're sitting on the couch, relaxing after a long day, and you hear it again. That scratch, scratch, scratch sound coming from across the room. You look over, and there's your dog gnawing at their paw, rubbing their face against the carpet, or shaking their head over and over like something is bothering them and they just can't get to it. It's exhausting to watch, and honestly, it's heartbreaking too, because you know they're uncomfortable, and there's nothing you can do to just make it stop instantly. You've probably already tried a few things, maybe a different shampoo, maybe an extra bath, maybe you even looked it up online and got flooded with 100 different opinions, half of them contradicting each other. So today we're cutting through all of that noise. We're going to walk through the top 3 home remedies that actually work, based on what real vets and experienced dog owners consistently recommend, and I'll also tell you which common mistakes to avoid, because some of the remedies floating around online can actually do more harm than good if you don't use them the right way. Before we jump into the remedies themselves, let's quickly talk about why dogs get itchy skin in the first place, because understanding the cause is going to help everything else make a lot more sense. And it's going to help you figure out which remedy is going to work best for your specific dog. Dogs can develop skin allergies for a bunch of different reasons. It could be something environmental, like pollen, dust mites, or grass, especially if the itching seems to get worse during certain seasons. It could be a reaction to certain ingredients in their food, especially common proteins like chicken or beef, or fillers like corn, soy, and wheat. It could be flea bites, even if you don't see any fleas on them right now, because some dogs have an allergic reaction to just a single bite. Or it could be something as simple as dry skin caused by too many baths, harsh shampoo, or dry indoor air, especially during colder months when heaters are running all day. The tricky part about all of this is that the symptoms usually look almost identical no matter what's actually causing them. Redness, constant scratching, hot spots, patches of hair loss, and sometimes a smell that just won't go away no matter how many times you bathe your dog. So keep all of this in mind as we go through these remedies, because the real goal here isn't just to stop the itching for one afternoon, it's to actually calm the skin down, support it, and help prevent the cycle from repeating over and over again. All right, let's start with remedy number 1, and this one is probably the easiest one to start using today, right after you finish watching this video. It's a simple oatmeal bath. Now I know that might sound almost too simple to actually work, but oatmeal has natural anti-inflammatory properties, and it's been used for decades, even in human skincare products, to calm down irritated, itchy skin. Here's exactly how you do it properly, step by step. First, take plain, unflavored oatmeal. Not the instant packets with sugar, flavoring, or added ingredients, just the plain, old-fashioned kind. Grind it into a fine powder using a blender or a food processor until it feels almost like flour between your fingers. Once it's a fine powder, mix it into warm water until it forms a milky, slightly thick consistency. Then, soak your dog in that water for about 10 to 15 minutes, gently massaging it into the itchy areas, especially the belly, paws, and any hot spots you've noticed. The oatmeal helps soothe inflammation, restores moisture to the skin, and creates a light, natural protective barrier that can reduce itching for a day or two afterward. A lot of dog owners say this is their absolute go-to remedy during allergy season because it's cheap, it's safe, there are basically no side effects, and most dogs actually seem to enjoy the warm soak once they get used to it. Just make sure the water is lukewarm, not hot, because hot water actually strips moisture from the skin and can make the itching worse a few hours later, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. Now here's something important, and this leads us right into that point I mentioned at the very beginning of this video. Remedy number 2, which we're about to get into right now, is where most people go wrong, and I promised you I'd explain exactly why. So let's not waste any more time and get into it right now instead of making you wait any longer. Remedy number 2 is apple cider vinegar, and this is the one that gets misused constantly, probably more than any other home remedy for dog skin issues. A lot of people hear that apple cider vinegar helps with skin allergies, so they go straight to their kitchen, grab the bottle off the shelf, and pour it directly onto their dog's skin or straight into an open wound. That is actually a huge mistake, and here's why. Undiluted apple cider vinegar is highly acidic, and if your dog has any broken skin, open cuts, or raw hot spots, putting it on directly is going to sting badly, cause them real pain, and can even lead to a chemical burn on already sensitive skin. So here's the correct way to use it, and please pay close attention to this part. You always dilute it. Mix 1 part apple cider vinegar with 1 part water so you end up with a 50-50 solution. You can pour this mixture into a spray bottle and lightly mist it onto areas of itchy skin that are not broken or bleeding, or you can soak a soft cloth in it and gently dab it onto the affected area instead. Apple cider vinegar has natural antibacterial and antifungal properties, which means it can genuinely help with the kind of itching that's caused by yeast or bacterial overgrowth on the skin. And that's actually a really common hidden cause of allergic-looking symptoms that most people never even think about. One more important tip before we move on. Never, ever use this remedy on open wounds or raw skin, and always do a small patch test first on a tiny area to make sure your dog's skin doesn't react badly to it. If you notice any redness increasing or your dog seems to be in more discomfort after applying it, wash the area off immediately with plain water and skip this remedy for your dog specifically, because every single dog's skin reacts a little differently, and what works for one dog might not work the same way for another. By the way, if this video is helping you understand your dog's skin issues a little better already, do me a quick favor and hit that like button right now, and if you're not subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe before you forget, because we're about to get into remedy number 3. Plus a couple of bonus mistakes that could be quietly making your dog's allergies worse without you even realizing it. And trust me, you really don't want to miss that part. Okay, let's move on to remedy number 3. And this one is a little different from the first two because it works from the inside out instead of just being something you apply on top of the skin. This remedy is adding coconut oil to your dog's diet, along with using it topically in small amounts on dry patches. Coconut oil is packed with something called lauric acid, which has natural antimicrobial and anti-inflammatory properties, and it's one of the most recommended natural supplements among holistic-minded vets today. When you add a small amount to your dog's food, usually around a quarter teaspoon for smaller dogs, and up to a full tablespoon for larger dogs, depending on their size and weight, it can help improve their skin health from the inside over time. Now, this isn't a remedy that works overnight, so don't expect instant results the way you might with the oatmeal bath we talked about earlier. Instead, think of this as more of a long-term skin support remedy, something you build into their daily routine. Give it about 3 to 4 weeks of consistent daily use, and a lot of owners start to notice their dog's coat becoming shinier, the skin becoming less flaky and less dry, and the overall itching gradually reducing because the skin barrier itself is becoming healthier and more resistant to whatever was irritating it in the first place. You can also rub a small amount of melted coconut oil directly onto dry, flaky patches of skin and simply let your dog's body absorb it naturally over a few hours. Just remember, a little goes a long way here, and too much coconut oil added to their diet too quickly can actually cause digestive upset, loose stools, or an upset stomach. So always start with a smaller amount than you think you need, and watch closely how your dog's body responds over the first week. Now here's something a lot of people don't talk about nearly enough, and honestly, I think it's just as important as the 3 remedies we just covered together. There are a few common mistakes that dog owners make without even realizing it, and these mistakes can seriously slow down healing, or in some cases, actually make skin allergies worse. The first mistake is overbathing. I completely understand the instinct. When your dog is itchy, your first thought is to wash them constantly, thinking it'll rinse away whatever is irritating their skin. But overbathing actually strips away the natural oils that are supposed to protect and moisturize their skin, which leads to even more dryness and even more itching in the long run, creating a frustrating cycle that never really ends. Try to limit baths to once every 1 to 2 weeks, unless your vet has specifically told you otherwise for a particular condition. The second mistake is completely ignoring the food angle. A lot of skin allergies are actually triggered by something hiding in your dog's diet, especially common proteins like chicken or beef, or cheap fillers like corn and wheat that show up in a lot of budget dog foods. If none of these home remedies seem to be making a real noticeable difference after a few consistent weeks, it might genuinely be worth talking to your vet about trying an elimination diet, just to rule out whether food is the real root cause behind all that constant scratching and discomfort. So let's do a quick recap of everything we covered today, because I really want to make sure this all sticks with you after the video ends. Remedy number 1 was the oatmeal bath, which is great for quick, soothing relief, and it's safe enough to use as often as you feel your dog needs it. Remedy number 2 was diluted apple cider vinegar, which genuinely helps with bacterial and yeast-related itching, but only when it's properly diluted and never applied to broken or raw skin. And remedy number 3 was coconut oil, used both in the diet and applied topically, which works as more of a long-term solution to build healthier, more resilient skin over the course of several weeks. The real key that ties all 3 of these together is consistency. None of these remedies are magic overnight fixes, and I don't want to promise you something that isn't realistic. But when you use them together and you actually stick with them, most dogs do start showing noticeable, visible improvement within about 2 to 3 weeks. One last important thing before we wrap up. If your dog's symptoms are severe, meaning you're seeing open sores, bleeding, a strong bad odor that won't go away, or your dog just seems to genuinely be in real pain rather than simple discomfort, please don't rely on home remedies alone in that situation. That's a clear sign that it's time to see a vet, because there could be an underlying infection happening beneath the surface that actually needs real medication to properly clear up. Home remedies are fantastic for mild to moderate itching, and they're great for ongoing, everyday skin maintenance. But they're never meant to be a full replacement for veterinary care once things start getting more serious. If this video helped you out today, do me a favor and drop a comment down below, letting me know which one of these 3 remedies you're going to try first with your own dog, or if you've already tried one of these before and it worked well. Share that experience in the comments too, because it genuinely helps other dog owners who are scrolling through looking for real, honest answers instead of just more confusing advice. And if you know someone whose dog has been dealing with itchy, irritated skin, go ahead and share this video with them right now. It might genuinely save them a stressful, expensive trip to the vet down the road. Thanks so much for sticking with me and watching this all the way through. Give this video a like if you found it useful today, and I'll see you in the very next one.